Hello and welcome to episode 31 of the Made by Mumino podcast. My name is Kathryn and I'm a knitter, and this is my little corner of the internet to talk about the knitting projects that I'm working on, any test knits that I'm doing, irresponsible purchases. There are quite a few this week. Any other sort of fibre things that I'm doing. I occasionally do a little bit of spinning, but I'm primarily a knitter and sadly I can't crochet. I will learn one of these days. I'm also thinking about getting into weaving as well, because of course I need another hobby. Anyway, as I said, my name is Kathryn and I'm filming in Mönchengladbach in Germany, which is kind of halfway between Dusseldorf and the Dutch border, and I live here with my partner. I live here permanently, but I'm originally from Wales in the UK. And you can find me on all the usual social media places. All of the links are down in the show notes below. Also, anything that I talk about in the episode today is linked down below. Any yarns, any shops, any patterns, anything like that. But do feel free to reach out and ask me in the comments if you have any questions, or if I've explained something badly, which often happens. So yes, I have a drink. Grab yourself something warm and cosy, or cool and refreshing, depending on where you are in the world. And let's get started. So I don't really have any finished objects to show you today, just a couple of test knits that I'm currently working on, for reasons that will become clear later on. But I thought to start off with, I'd show you my Soho cardigan. If you've been watching me for a while, you will have seen this before. This is a lovely pattern by Ronya Hakalito, and it was in a book called Lakeside Stitches, and it's a gorgeous pattern, knitted up on 6mm or US 10, I think it was. Yeah, that's right, needles. So it's a nice quick knit, really easy construction, and super nice to wear. And I've been wearing it a lot. So I've been wearing this over lots of different things as like a top layer. And it's really warm and squishy and comfortable, but also very lightweight, because I made this in unspun from Nutiden. And I thought I'd show you, because I have been wearing this pretty much constantly since I finished it, and I was going to debobble it today. So I just wanted to show you what Nutiden looks like before it's debobbled. Yeah, you can see I'm right-handed. This is totally normal for Nutiden because it's unspun. There's lots of loose fibres and things flying around, and after the first sort of month or so of wearing it, oh, one of my neighbour's dogs is barking. It's a really cute little Jack Russell Dachshund cross thingamajiggy. Sorry, Dachshund cross, and it gets very excited when anybody knocks on the door. Anyway. What was I saying? So yeah, this is totally normal for Nutiden. After the first time you wear it, it does bobble quite a lot, and then it kind of calms down. So you mustn't worry. If you haven't knit with unspun before, I highly recommend it. It makes a very, very lightweight, breathable yet warm fabric. I'm a big fan. And I've knit, I think, a couple of cardigans, a few jumpers, and also some gifts and hats and accessories and things like that for various people. So yeah, I knit this in the 4th size. I've got approximately 120 centimetre bust, about between 47 and 48 inches. And I tend to aim for 0 to 5 centimetres or 2.5 inches of ease, purely because I'm quite short in the body. I feel like it suits me better if I have something that's a bit more fitted. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. I didn't go for pockets. I know that a few episodes ago I was debating whether or not to, and I decided not to, because I don't think I would ever use them in this. All of the clothes that I wear, skirts and stuff, they all have pockets in them, so I didn't want anything to pull the cardigan down. I'd be way too tempted to put my phone in my pocket if I gave it pockets. So yeah, just to say, I'm very, very happy with this knit. It's quickly become a staple part of my wardrobe, just wanted to show you what happens to Nutiden after it's been worn a few times, but that it's nothing to worry about. I will debobble this later and it'll look good as new again. So So yes, I tend to use, I've got one of those comb, what are they called? Debobbler thingamajiggies, from just a normal little, oh, gosh, I can't find my words today. I've got one of those little comb debobblers. I also sometimes use a razor, a safety razor without any gel or anything, you know, the lubrication strip on it. And as long as you hold the knitting flat, you can just go along the surface of the knitting and just shave away any bobbles. But my partner treated me to a debobbler razor thingamajiggy. I can't think what the words are for these things. Fusselrasier. I know the words in German. Oh, 1 second, my door is just buzzed. So I'm going to do my best today, but there might be a few breaks because there's some building work going on in the building that I live in. There's been a leak in one of the apartments, so they're chasing the leak down the pipes. So yeah, there might be a few breaks. Anyway, so where was I? Yes, I tend to use a debobbling electric razor from the steamery, which I find works very, very well. But to be honest, a normal like disposable razor without a lubrication strip works just as well. You just need to make sure that you're doing it on a flat surface so that you don't damage the fabric, and do it very, very slowly, working along the surface of the fabric. If anybody has any other ideas or any other recommendations of debobbling tools to use, please do put them in the comments down below for anybody else who needs one and is watching. So yes, as I said, I don't have any finished objects to show you today, but I do have a couple of WIPs. And the first one is my Florence sweater from Eleanor Mortensen. Now I haven't made a massive amount of progress on this since you last saw it. But I'm absolutely in love with these colours. It's a bit creased because it's been in my luggage coming back from the UK. I haven't made a massive amount of progress on it. So this is a test knit that I'm doing for Eleanor Mortensen, as I said. I can't wait to wear this, it's going to look so good. Anyway, and the deadline isn't until the middle of June, so I've got plenty of time to work on this. I am using a mixture of Mondim. Got the things here for you. And as I said, all of the details on these yarns are down in the show notes. So my main colour is this Mondim, but my contrast colour is this amazing Castor lace, which is tangled up. What is going on here? From the WIP Yarn Company. Obviously, you know that if you watch my podcast, I love Ross's yarns. He is a genius at making these beautiful non-superwash bases, but in really nice, fun colours. So this is a new base to him. It's a custom spin for him, and I can't get over how soft it is, if I'm honest. I think it's gorgeous. This colourway is called the Swan with a double N. And it's 50% Falcon Merino, 25% Gotland and 25% Corriedale. And I am in love with this. I will definitely be using this again. It's gorgeous. So as this is very, very thin, I'm holding it double with itself just to get a little bit more gauge. However, my gauge in this project, which is why I'm being a bit slower, I think, is totally off. My stitch gauge is okay, but my row gauge is quite a lot smaller than it should be. So in the pattern, you're supposed to split for the sleeves about there, so that there's more of this colour work on the arms. But I had to split for sleeves a lot later to get that colour work depth. I'd say I'm a good 3.5 to 4 centimetres out on my gauge, which is a little bit frustrating. It does mean that my colour work is going to stop a bit sooner. I think what I might do to compensate is add some more colour work on the arms, on the sleeves. But to be honest, it's going to look lovely, so I'm not too worried about it. But it's my own fault. The pattern calls for more of a sport weight type yarn, and I was hoping that I could get gauge with after blocking with this yarn, which is very much a 4-ply sock yarn, but I didn't with the recommended needle size, so I had to go down, I think 1 or 2 needle sizes, just the 1 needle size I think. So it's my own fault. So don't feel sorry for me. It just means I've given myself a bit more work to do and a bit more knitting to do, which is absolutely fine. So, so yeah, I ended up on a 3.5mm needle instead of a 3.75mm needle. I mean, in theory, a little change like that, as long as you do your gauge swatch and as long as you do your maths, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. To a certain extent, I think you can use lots of different weights of yarn for lots of different patterns as long as you do your gauge swatching and everything. But I had to use this combination because I'm just in love with these colours. It's beautiful. Anyway, I talk about this a lot more in my previous episode, so if you're interested in that, please do go back and check it out. So I took this with me to the UK to work on. I took the needles off and borrowed some needles from my mum when I was in the UK, so that my charagoos didn't get taken during check-in on the flight. And I didn't actually do as much work on it as I hoped, because I made a sweater for my niece a couple of months ago. Again, if you've been watching me, you will have seen it. Yes, sorry, another interruption. As I was saying, yes, my niece's sweater. So my sister and her family came to visit and stay with my parents whilst I was also in Wales a couple of weeks ago. And my niece brought her jumper with her that needed a little bit of adjusting. The sleeves are a bit too long. So I pulled the sleeves back and just re-knitted the cuffs for her. But it meant I didn't have so much knitting time on this. Also, we were just really busy working in the garden and seeing lots of different family members and so on. So it was just really, really nice. So not a lot of knitting time, hence not too much progress on the body. But I'm hoping to get back to that this week if possible. But I do have another work in progress, another test knit on my needles. And this time, not a lot of progress on this one either. Apologies for any needle noises. This is the beginnings of the In the Garden tee from Jessica McDonald. This is going to be a lovely, size inclusive, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous t-shirt. I'll put the a picture of the finished pattern up here. And it's a really simple, nice construction. So I'm going to cough. Okay, so this is a nice size inclusive pattern. It comes in 10 different sizes from about 35 inches to 64 inches, or about 88 centimetres to 160 centimetres. And I'm making the 5th size. And I'm using the recommended needle size, which is a 3.25. And ooh, I'm going to drop the iPad. And this is what I've done so far. So it's knit seamlessly. You start at the back. Oh gosh, it's really difficult to show it to you when it's all in pieces like this. I was really hoping to have joined the sleeves, joined the body, sorry, so that you could see it a bit better. Anyway, so you start with the back, knit, 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 do some increases, and then you pick up each of the fronts in turn. So when I'm knitting something like this, and I'm sure you've already thought of this, but if not, it might be helpful. When you do the initial cast on, it's usually just for that bit there at the back, and then you do your increases from there. What I like to do is put the little bold markers in, because then when I'm coming to pick up for the shoulders, it makes it much easier to see what points I need to pick up from. It just makes life a little bit easier for me. So past Kathryn, or future Kathryn, thanks past Kathryn, when I remember to do that. Yeah, because sometimes it could be a little bit difficult to see where your increases started. So yeah, making some nice progress on that. Really happy with the fabric. I swatched and blocked a little colour work swatch for this just to see if I was happy with it, and yeah, it's coming out really nicely. So I am using Kremke Lazy Linen. I'm so sorry, this is no longer made. My local yarn shop, Die Geschenkewerkstatt, the lovely Iris who runs the shop, or it is her shop I should say, she had a few of these skeins lurking about, and I just absolutely loved this really strong orangey brick sort of colour. So I pinched 3, I didn't pinch it, I paid for it. I grabbed 3 skeins of that, so that's my main colour, and then I'm going to be doing the colour work in this Shopple Vola. Now both of these are a linen merino mix, or a linen yarn mix anyway. and the makeup for this one is 80/20, and I think the makeup for this one is 90/10. But I don't have the don't have the label there. It's gone walkabout somewhere. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I absolutely love knitting with linen yarn mixes or linen wool mixes. You get these fantastic little plant fibres, these little white flecks throughout it. I just really, really love the effect that you get with that. Makes it look very soft and very natural. So yes, that is my other work in progress. And to be honest, pretty much it, other than blankets, which don't count. I've got one blanket on my needles. I have one handbag pair of socks that I've almost finished. I'll show you next time. That is pretty much it for, yeah, that's it. So this is a lovely pattern anyway. It's going to be coming out probably mid-June, I would say, because the deadline for this is early June. So I've got a few weeks to finish this and I'm making good progress. Looking forward to wearing this actually. It's going to look really nice with my skirts and things. I can't decide if I'm going to do this one a bit cropped or a little bit longer length. I'll after I've joined for the body, I'll do a little fit check and see how I feel about that. So yes, that is it for WIPs. Okay, so the other thing to talk to you about today are definitely some irresponsible purchases. So as I said at the beginning, I live here in Germany permanently with my partner, but I'm originally from Wales in the UK, and my parents live kind of just below mid-Wales, just below the Banau Brychaniog, which is the Brecon Beacons, where all the beautiful mountains and waterfalls are in mid-Wales. I'm biased, but I think it's one of the most beautiful places in the world, and if you ever have the opportunity, please do go and visit. It's barely an hour from Cardiff if you're driving. There are park and rides that go from Merthyr Tydfil up to where some of the main walking routes and things are, and it's just glorious. Even if the weather's not fantastic, it's still really, really beautiful. But when I went a couple of weeks ago, the weather was beautiful, and I had a really, really lovely time with my family. So I stayed with my parents, but I got to see my granddad and my sister and her family. And sadly I didn't get around to seeing my brother, who lives just down the road. I'm from quite a big family. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings, and there's lots of children about the place. And but sadly, one of my sisters and 3 of her kids live in America, so I don't get to see her very often. She lives near San Francisco, but she's coming back in July, so I'm going to get to see her and her family in a few months' time as well. So anyway. But this time I went back to spend some time with family. There have been a few things going on in the background that make me want to spend a bit more time at home at the moment. Everybody is fine, but it's just, you know, when there's health things going on and things, it makes you want to touch base a bit more often than usual, doesn't it? But fortuitously, it was also Wonderwool, which is a fibre festival up in Builth Wells, and yeah, it was wonderful. My mum and I were both knitters, we're both compulsive yarn hoarders. We had a really, really wonderful time. It was good fun. It's only 40-45 minutes away from where my parents' house is, so it was a nice little day out. We got there before it opened on the Saturday, and I think we left by about 2 o'clock, something like that. We wanted to leave in good time because, as I said, one of my sisters and her kids were coming over to stay, and I wanted to make the most of seeing them as much as possible, because as much as I love wool, my niece and nephew always come first. So what can I say? Anyway, so I'm going to show you what I picked up. Just bear in mind as well, I only had hand luggage with me when I went to the UK, and I think I did quite well. I think I did all right. So the first thing I brought back with me was this. 2 cones of woolly knit British 4-ply. Now I didn't buy this at Wonderwool. I bought this in, they have so many special offers and things on, especially when they're doing a knit along. I think they've just started doing another one with linen and cotton cones, so there might be another discount code available for that at the moment as well. But yes, I would like to knit myself, oh gosh, I do love my green cardigans, don't I? I'd like to knit myself another long line cardigan. So I will be holding this double. I have already made for myself, and you will have seen it before probably, a no frills cardigan from Petite Knit, also in woolly knit cones held double, but that one is in the Autumn Glow colourway, and it's kind of a red raspberry sort of colour. And I would like another one in a different colour. This yarn isn't the softest in the world, but it's so hard wearing. It takes a lot of punishment, and I wear my no frills cardigan a lot, and I'd like another one in a different colour. So this colourway is dark apple, and it's really, I mean, these colours, they're not flat colours, they are heathered. And yeah, so at some point I will cast on another no frills cardigan for myself. So I knit the size XL, and I used 2 cones last time, and I think I had about maybe 100 grams left on each cone afterwards. It's sold as a 4-ply, well, as a fingering weight yarn, but it's very thin, and I find that when I hold it double I get a decent sport weight, and I really like the gauge that I get from it. So I think I went up a needle size when I made my last no frills, and I'll just do the same again, to be honest. Just make myself another one. So that's the first thing I got. Didn't buy it at the show, but I brought it back from Wales with me. So that is that. The next thing I got was from a, apologies for the crackling, just sign back into here. I got myself a packet of silk mohair, and this is from a new to me yarn company called Along Avec Anna, and this is fine kid mohair and 28% mulberry silk, 210 meters per 25 grams, and it's a cruelty free silk as well, which was really interesting. I believe this colourway is called Pralines. Yes, it is, there it is. And it's not one of her usual, it's not the same as the other one that's available on the website, because you can see the core fibre is a much paler colour than the silk. So she was selling off packets of this for a little discount, and I love this. I thought this was gorgeous, so that was my first purchase of the day, and I've got 10 little balls of this. So this is going to make something really nice. Not sure what yet, but yeah, I was really chuffed to find that. And the lady who runs this company, Anna, she was lovely. She was really sweet, and we had a nice little chat. And her stall was really, really pretty. There'll be some footage of that at the end of this podcast as well. So so have a look at that. But yeah. So I got that, and I'll let you know how I got on with it. The next thing that I picked up was something that I planned to get. So this is a Welsh dyer called Helen, who also has a podcast actually, so I'll link that down below. And she has a little farm, and she does all sorts of courses and classes and spinning and things like that, but she dyes plant dyed yarns, and I just love her yarns. I really wanted to get some of this last year, but I just didn't have space. I'd already bought so much by the time I got to her stall, so I made sure that I visited her first this time. So all of the wool that she plant dyes herself in her studio is British wool. Some of it is from her own flock, but if not, it's all from the UK. And this is just gorgeous, isn't it? I love it when you use these plant dyes and you get this lovely colour variation in it. It's really pretty. So this base is her Dales 50/50, and it's a 4-ply fingering weight. 100 grams is 450 meters, so it's slightly on the thinner side fingering weight yarn. So I'll swatch with this, but I think I might also have a go at holding it with that. I think that might be pretty special. I'll see what I think, but I'm thinking maybe a love note or another ranunculus, something like that maybe. I think this needs to be something on a slightly more open gauge, But yeah, watch this space and I'll see how I get on with that. But I'm thinking something lacy, something pretty. I love pink. I do love pink. I tend to gravitate towards pinks, browns and greens. And I know that a few episodes ago everything seemed to be turquoise, but that's a bit of a departure for me, to be honest. I tend to, this is more my comfort zone. So yes, that was from the lovely Helen at Nelly and Eve, and it's just, it is beautiful. Also, apologies, I think I might have said earlier, as I said, they're doing building work. So any weird pauses, because there are building noises going on. Yeah, so that was my second purchase. The next thing that I got was something that I've not really had much experience with. I don't really want to take it out of the packet because it's so pretty. But this is from We County Yarns, not the We Yarn Company, We County Yarns. And they do these amazing little mini balls to paint with, basically. So they're lots of little 2-ply yarns, you know, the sorts of things that you get from sort of JC Rennie and that kind of thing, for doing ferrule, for doing colour work. And I saw this really cute little set. They have them in so many different colours. And I thought, oh, I really, really fancy doing some colour work. So I also picked up this pattern from them. So the next thing I got was some gorgeous, gorgeous barber pole yarn. This is from Ribbonit. And oh, the colours aren't, it looks more green in real life. But I saw this last year, but again, I'd already spent out last year, so this was on my to-do list as well. So I've got myself 2 little 50-gram skeins of this, because I intend to use it in a colour work yoke at some point. Do you know what? It's another thing that goes with this. There was a definite theme. I was going for pink, wasn't I? Subconsciously. But anyway, this is their Chimera 4-ply base, and the colourway is Succulents, and it's 100% BFL, and it's all spun and hand dyed in the UK. So the dyer who was there on the stall was Marcus, and he's originally from Germany. He's from near Cologne. So whenever the 2 times I've seen him, poor guy, I go and inflict my terrible German on him. But it's a nice opportunity for me to practice. But he and his partner live on a narrowboat in the UK, and they do regular open days and things like that as well for their studio. And if I'm in the UK when they're doing one, I'd love to go because they just seem like really, really nice people. So yeah, picked up some of that. And it's really, really pretty. They have a beautiful selection. They also did this Chimera base in a DK weight as well, and my mum picked up one of those, which will make a lovely hat or something. It'll, yeah, really, really pretty. So that was that. And then the other things that I picked up, and apologies for the crackling, I'll be as quick as possible. I got around 100 grams of Penelan fibre flock. Now, for me, this is pretty special. This is homegrown Welsh fibre, and it is a mix of Shetland and Gotland. You will see one of the little Icelandic sheep that it came from later on in the footage if you stick around for it. And it smells like sheep. It smells like it's still got a lot of the fat in it, and it's just, I couldn't walk away from this. It is like a cloud. It's a sheepy cloud. So I got that. It's really beautiful. As far as I could see, they don't have a website, just a Facebook page. So I will have linked that down below. But it's just, they had a beautiful selection. Most of it was undyed in various natural shades from different breeds, and it was just really, really nice, really special. So I'm really happy that I've picked that up, and I'll see how I get on with it when I'm spinning. But yeah, really excited to work with that, and it's very sheepy. And my last purchase was to go with purchases that I got last year. I got 100 grams of Harvest Hues tops from John Arbon, and this is the colourway Peat. So last year I got myself 3 other 100-gram bumps of various Harvest Hues shades, and I've been slowly spinning them up, and my intention is probably to weave something with them, but we'll see. I've got a couple of other patterns in my mind for lumpy bumpy yarn, so I'll see how I get on. But I thought if I have one more to go with it, then I've got more chance of being able to make something meaningful with that. So yeah, I had an absolutely wonderful time. It was great fun. I'm all spent out, and I'll have to save again for next year, or for the next yarn festival or whatever. So yeah, it was really wonderful. So I've put a little bit of footage from the day at the end of the podcast, taking you on a little tour of Wonderwool, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough. If you fancy going next year, do give me a shout and say hello. Oh, and I should say, thank you so much to the people who said hello to me when I was there. It was really sweet, and really nice to have a little chat with some people. So yeah, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I think that's about it. The only other thing I'm thinking about at the moment is perhaps doing another knit along for over the summer, and I'm wondering about a theme for it. Last year I did the Thrifty Mile, which in British English, thrifty means money saving. It doesn't mean anything about thrift shops and stuff. We call them charity shops in the UK. So I was thinking maybe doing another sort of Thrifty Mile where we'll use things from our stash that we already have to save a little bit of money because of irresponsible purchases. Maybe. So yes, and again, apologies for all of the interruptions today with all the building work going on in my building, but hopefully I've managed to put together an okay kind of episode. All right, I will see you in a couple of weeks, and happy crafting, and enjoy the week wherever you are. Take care. Bye.